Harley-Davidson dealerships across the country are scrambling to unload 7 specific models, and the price cuts make it obvious. These bikes are being discounted thousands below book, pushed into promos, and treated like inventory the stores can't wait to get rid of. When dealers start dumping Harleys this aggressively, something deeper is going on, whether it's rider complaints, poor resale, or machines that never lived up to the badge. In this video, we're breaking down the 7 models Harley dealers are trying to dump as soon as possible, and why each one ended up on the chopping block. Stick around till the end, because number 1 is the biggest shock of all. Number 7. Harley-Davidson Roadster. Every rider who has spent decades on the road knows when a motorcycle carries the right kind of weight, the kind that settles into your frame and tells you it was built for real miles. The Roadster had the name and the legacy behind it, yet the moment riders settled into the saddle, something felt different. The stance, the posture, and the intent all leaned toward a direction that never matched what long-distance American riders expect from a machine wearing this badge. The Roadster looked aggressive and focused, but the shape of the bars, the shortened rear, and the compressed leg position pushed many riders away before the first mile even began. It entered the world as a machine that wanted to merge 2 traditions: the upright steadiness of a cruiser and the punch of a cafe-inspired street machine. That combination works on smooth European boulevards, but riders who spend their lives carving through long American stretches did not find the balance they expected. Many riders who grew up balancing comfort and control on older touring platforms found the Roadster too tight and too compressed for all-day riding. The spirit behind it aimed for renewed energy in the Sportster line, but the execution left experienced riders feeling like the machine was trying to be something it never fully embraced. There is also a cultural element. Riders who appreciate the deep history of the brand expect a motorcycle to speak through the road. They expect a machine that breathes, thumps, and settles into the body in a way that feels honest. The Roadster, with its sharper angles and forward push, spoke a different language. It brought a degree of performance that felt disconnected from the confidence and comfort older riders rely on. Even though it handled well in short bursts, the rhythm of the machine encouraged rides measured in minutes, not hours. The market reacted with a quiet hesitation, not because the Roadster lacked quality, but because it lacked a clear identity. It was not the natural step for riders moving up from smaller platforms, and it did not resonate with riders who had already built their lives around long days on heavy V-twin machines. Many admirers took a second look. Some even took a test ride, but few felt drawn to bring it home. The Roadster became a motorcycle respected for its intent, but rarely chosen for real-world use. For many riders, a motorcycle must feel like an extension of their rhythm, and the Roadster never settled into that role despite its intentions. It delivered moments of sharp response, yet it lacked the calm confidence needed for long and steady travel. The Roadster uses a 1200 2 cubic centimeters engine, produces approximately 65 horsepower, creates 70.8 pound-feet of torque, carries a dual-disc anti-lock braking system, uses inverted front forks with twin rear shocks, holds a dry weight of 551 pounds, offers a seat height of 28.9 inches, and entered the market with a starting price of $11,499. This shift in purpose sets the stage for a motorcycle that struggled even more to earn long-term loyalty. Number 6. Harley-Davidson Street 500. For many riders who spent decades trusting the steady rhythm of heavier American machines, the Street 500 felt like a motorcycle searching for a place it never fully found. It entered the market with the promise of being a friendly first step into the world of riding. Yet it carried a feel that did not match the heritage so many riders held close. The light frame, the soft presence, and the subdued personality left seasoned riders wondering who this motorcycle was truly built for. It looked like a smaller doorway into the brand, but once the miles began, the experience felt more like a departure than an introduction. The Street 500 appeared during a moment when the industry wanted fresh riders and lower price points. On paper, the idea made sense, but experienced riders carry a memory of long-haul machines that breathe with every turn of the throttle. When they sat on the Street 500, the response felt muted, the vibration felt distant, and the familiar sense of weight and balance simply was not there. A motorcycle can be light, but it still needs soul, and the Street 500 never delivered the deep physical conversation older riders expect from the road. The posture also created challenges. Many riders found that the combination of narrow bars, limited legroom, and reduced overall stance made the motorcycle feel compressed, almost as if it were built for shorter city loops rather than open road movement. Those who grew up running long stretches of highway noticed quickly that the Street 500 encouraged short, simple rides rather than hours of steady travel. The motorcycle did not invite the kind of wandering that older riders value, and that difference shaped the way it was received across the community. Then there was the matter of identity. Riders who spent their lives around machines with unmistakable sound and presence felt disconnected from what the Street 500 offered. They wanted a sense of mechanical honesty and a voice that could be heard between the trees. The Street 500 produced a quieter, smoother tone that may have suited newer riders, but it did not resonate with the crowd that built its miles on larger, heavier machines. For many riders, it felt like a motorcycle that was trying to be polite in a world where real presence matters. In riding circles, the Street 500 often became known as a motorcycle that did its job, but never sparked inspiration. It was reliable enough for short errands and new rider practice, yet it lacked the emotional pull that defines the bond many riders form with their machines. A motorcycle must feel like something you look back at when you walk away from it. The Street 500 rarely created that moment, and that absence shaped its future in the market. Riders respected its purpose, but they did not connect with it in a way that built long-term loyalty. The Street 500 uses a 494 cubic centimeters engine, produces approximately 34 horsepower, creates 29.5 pound-feet of torque, carries a single-disc anti-lock braking system, uses a telescopic front fork with twin rear shocks, holds a wet weight of approximately 489 pounds, offers a seat height of 25 inches, and entered the market with a starting price of $7,695. Those lessons lead directly into a model whose challenges grew from deep questions about identity and direction. If you're finding value in this breakdown, take a second to like the video and subscribe. Share your thoughts below, because riders with real miles bring insight no chart can match. Your voice helps shape every future deep dive we bring to this channel. Number 5. Harley-Davidson Street 750. Many riders who built their lives around long, steady miles know immediately when a motorcycle carries the kind of presence that feels ready for the road. The Street 750 arrived with the intention of giving newer riders an approachable way into the world of American cruisers. Yet, its character did not land the way many expected. The moment seasoned riders settled into the saddle, they sensed a machine that followed the right idea on paper, but lacked the depth and maturity they associated with true open road travel. It tried to bridge affordability with modern convenience, but in doing so, it left behind some of the qualities that longtime riders consider fundamental. The shape and balance of the Street 750 invited urban movement more than highway comfort. Many riders who were accustomed to stretching their legs across wide-open states found its cockpit tight and its overall stance somewhat compressed. The handlebars felt narrow, the foot controls sat higher than expected, and the riding posture encouraged a forward lean that did not blend well with all-day cruising. The motorcycle performed capably at low and medium speeds, yet older riders often remarked that it lacked the steady, planted stability that defines the machines they trust for long-distance travel. There was also a matter of voice and vibration. Riders who spent years listening to deep, pulsing tones from heavier engines found the smooth delivery of the Street 750 unfamiliar. Its sound carried a softer note, and while that characteristic offered simplicity for beginners, it created a sense of emotional distance for riders who enjoy a more pronounced mechanical rhythm. Many expected the motorcycle to feel more alive under throttle, but instead encountered a muted personality that did not stir the same confidence-experienced riders associate with traditional American cruisers. Those who took the Street 750 on short city rides often appreciated its predictable handling and manageable weight. However, the transition from city streets to longer routes revealed limitations. The motorcycle responded well within controlled environments, yet it lacked the authority many riders desire when merging onto fast-moving roads or maintaining steady speed across long stretches. Riders who remembered the strength of older mid-size machines felt the difference immediately. The Street 750 could complete the task, but did not inspire the sense of partnership older riders depend on when planning longer days in the saddle. Its place in the market became equally complicated. It was priced above many beginner options, yet lacked the soul and posture that attract riders to full-size cruisers. Experienced riders gravitated toward used, larger models instead, while new riders often chose alternatives that offered more refinement for less money. The Street 750 served a purpose, but it rarely sparked the loyalty that transforms a motorcycle into a long-term companion. The Street 750 uses a 749 cubic centimeters engine, produces approximately 68 horsepower, creates 47.9 pound-feet of torque, carries a single-disc anti-lock braking system, uses a telescopic front fork with twin rear shocks, holds a wet weight of approximately 514 pounds, offers a seat height of 25.7 inches, and entered the market with a starting price of $8,499. That evolution opens the door to a machine that pushed harder for relevance, yet exposed an entirely new set of limits. Real riders know your gear matters as much as your machine. If you want the equipment that keeps me comfortable, protected, and confident on long miles, check the description. I linked everything I rely on. Number 4. Harley-Davidson Street Rod. Riders who spent years trusting the steady pull of traditional cruisers could tell immediately that the Street Rod was attempting to speak a different language. It carried the familiar badge, but the moment a rider settled into position, the motorcycle revealed a posture and purpose that leaned far away from the long, low confidence older riders prefer. The Street Rod aimed itself at a more aggressive urban style, yet for many who grew up stretching miles across wide states, this stance felt more like a compromise than an evolution. The machine wanted to be sharp and quick, but its shape placed the rider into a position that demanded effort instead of offering comfort. The Street Rod introduced a vision built around raised foot controls, firmer suspension, and a higher seat. These elements were designed to give the motorcycle a more athletic personality, but they also created a riding triangle that challenged riders who were accustomed to easy reach and relaxed legroom. The bars sat close, the pegs placed the knees high, and the seat pushed the rider forward whether they wanted it or not. Those ergonomic choices made sense for short sprints through traffic, yet they felt unnatural for riders who measure a good motorcycle by how it behaves after hours in the saddle. The Street Rod always seemed to prioritize tight corners over long highways, and that difference shaped the way experienced riders responded to it. Many riders appreciated the improved handling, noting that the Street Rod reacted more quickly than its siblings at lower speeds. Still, the motorcycle carried a feeling of tension, as though it was always urging the rider to stay alert rather than settle in. Riders who came from models known for their steady composure felt that the Street Rod demanded too much energy for too little reward. It behaved like a machine built for a different environment entirely, one where smooth pavement and short routes dominated the landscape. For riders who lived through decades of cross-country movement, The Street Rod simply lacked the calm center they expected from an American cruiser. Its overall personality also created a divide. Some riders valued the sharper look, but many felt the styling drifted toward a direction that did not reflect the history of the badge. The compact frame and angular lines hinted at a motorcycle caught between identities. Those who wanted a true sport machine looked elsewhere, and those who wanted a cruiser felt the Street Rod leaned too far from tradition. That uncertain identity left the motorcycle standing alone, respected by a few but rarely chosen by riders who wanted a machine that felt familiar the moment they touched the grips. Despite that, the Street Rod offered real capability, though capability alone does not guarantee connection. The machine performed well in tight environments, yet most riders never found the deeper bond required to carry it into years of ownership. For many, a motorcycle must feel like a partner, not a test, and the Street Rod remained a motorcycle that needed justification rather than one that inspired confidence. The Street Rod uses a 749 cubic centimeters engine, produces approximately 70 horsepower, creates 48 pound-feet of torque, carries a dual-disc anti-lock braking system, uses inverted front forks with piggyback rear shocks, holds a wet weight of 516 pounds, offers an unladen seat height of 30.1 inches, and entered the market with a starting price of $8,699. This contrast leads into a model whose ambition was bold, yet whose execution left many riders standing at a distance. Number 3. Harley-Davidson FXDR 114. Riders who value steady power and long-mile confidence recognized immediately that the FXDR carried intentions that did not fully align with the core expectations many held for a serious cruiser. The motorcycle introduced a bold silhouette with stretched lines and a forward-driving stance. Yet that design signaled a riding experience built more for brief demonstrations than sustained movement. Older riders often sensed an imbalance between the dramatic exterior and the practical realities of roads that demand comfort, balance, and the ability to remain settled hour after hour. Many riders who tested the FXDR noticed quickly that its ergonomics leaned heavily toward an aggressive forward reach. The wide bars, extended controls, and firm stance positioned the rider in a way that limited natural movement during longer trips. Riders accustomed to cruising with relaxed shoulders and a planted spine found the motorcycle urged a posture that invited fatigue earlier than expected. This difference mattered because long-mile travel requires a steady union between machine and rider, and the FXDR often introduced tension where comfort should have existed. The visual presence of the FXDR drew admiration from riders who appreciated muscular designs. Yet, appearance alone did not create the partnership necessary for sustained use. The motorcycle emphasized straight-line power, but its massive rear tire and weight distribution made low-speed handling feel heavier than anticipated. Many riders reported that tight turns, parking lot maneuvers, and uneven roads required additional focus. While the motorcycle delivered strong acceleration, the overall experience left some riders feeling that the machine prioritized style statements over the calm authority required for long distances. There was also the matter of purpose. Riders who spent decades relying on cruisers that balanced strength with versatility found the FXDR limited in comfort and range. It handled short, energetic rides well, but seldom encouraged the kind of travel long-term riders value. Over time, many concluded it carried strong intentions, yet never aligned with their priorities. They respected its power and bold profile, but the motorcycle lacked the predictability and endurance required for true partnership. It became admired for appearance rather than trusted for long, demanding days on open roads. The FXDR 114 uses a 1,868 cubic centimeters engine, produces approximately 90 horsepower, creates 118 pound-feet of torque, carries a dual-disc anti-lock braking system, uses inverted front forks with a monoshock rear suspension, holds a dry weight of 637 pounds, offers a seat height of 27.7 inches, and entered the market with a starting price of $21,349. That imbalance sets the path toward a motorcycle built for spectacle, yet rarely chosen for real miles. If you want straight, honest analysis without corporate spin, make sure you subscribe. Every week, we uncover the stories behind the machines and how they affect riders who actually live on the road. Stay connected, because the next chapters matter more than ever. Number 2. Harley-Davidson V-Rod. When riders think back on the machines that carried them across long highways and quiet back roads, they remember motorcycles that spoke through the frame with a steady rhythm and a familiar pulse. The V-Rod arrived with a different kind of heartbeat. It carried a modern edge and a smoother tone that never fully settled into the expectations older riders held for a true long-haul companion. Many respected its speed, its engineering, and its willingness to rev, yet those qualities often felt distant from the grounded character riders trusted for real mileage. The V-Rod stood as a bold attempt to move in a new direction, but that direction did not always align with the values shaped by decades of riding tradition. Riders who tried the V-Rod noticed immediately that its power delivery felt more like a high-performance street machine than a relaxed cruiser built for long stretches of steady travel. The engine encouraged higher revs and quicker acceleration, which some enjoyed in short bursts. Yet riders accustomed to low-end torque and slow-rolling strength found themselves adjusting to a personality that did not match their natural rhythm. The motorcycle felt eager, almost impatient, and that sense of urgency often clashed with the calm confidence many riders prefer when settling into long-distance journeys. Its posture added another layer of conflict. The forward foot controls, low seat, and long reach created a stance that looked sleek but challenged comfort over time. Riders who relied on relaxed ergonomics for thousands of miles discovered the V-Rod required a more deliberate effort to remain comfortable. The riding triangle positioned the body closer to a performance machine than a road-focused cruiser. And while it suited spirited rides, it did not always support the endurance older riders rely upon. A motorcycle can offer impressive bursts of energy, yet for many, lasting comfort defines real value. Then there was the emotional component. Riders who came from a lineage of deep exhaust notes and heavy, steady vibes found the V-Rod almost too smooth. Its sound carried a sharper pitch, and its feel lacked the familiar pulse that had defined American V-twin traveling for generations. That difference did not make the motorcycle less capable, but it created a sense of separation from the heritage riders held close. Many appreciated the innovation, yet innovation alone cannot replace the emotional link formed by decades of trusted mechanical character. The V-Rod earned admiration for its engineering, yet admiration rarely became connection. Riders respected its performance and presence, but often kept it at a distance rather than making it a long-term companion. A motorcycle's value lies in how naturally it supports steady travel, and the V-Rod never fully reached that harmony. It delivers 115 horsepower from a 1,247 cubic centimeters engine, with 84 pound-feet of torque. All of these tensions point toward a final machine that tested the bond between innovation and heritage more than any other. Number 1. Harley-Davidson Pan America. Riders who spent decades shaping their identity around long-stroke torque and road-settled confidence felt a shift the moment the Pan America arrived. It represented a sharp departure from the usual rhythm of steady V-twin travel, offering a machine built for high-speed dirt, deep electronics, and a style that leaned more toward global adventure trends than the traditional American touring presence. Many riders respected the ambition behind it, yet they also sensed a distance between the motorcycle's purpose and the values that carried them across thousands of miles during earlier years. The Pan America asked riders to trust a direction that did not feel fully rooted in familiar ground. The motorcycle introduced a riding stance that stood taller and more forward-focused than what many older riders prefer. The broad bars, upright posture, and tall seat provided clear visibility, yet also demanded a level of physical engagement that felt unfamiliar to those who grew up cruising low and steady. Riders who treasured the open highway often found this machine asking for movement, weight shifts, and active control at speeds and terrains outside their usual expectations. The result was a machine that excelled in dynamic environments, but carried a learning curve that not every seasoned rider wished to take on. Beyond posture, the Pan America relied heavily on electronics. Its multiple riding modes, display functions, and automatic adjustments offered advanced capability, but they also added layers of complexity. Riders who spent years trusting the tactile simplicity of cable controls and mechanical feel sometimes viewed this added technology as a barrier rather than a benefit. The machine required attention, menu navigation, and trust in systems that operated behind the scenes. For some, that invisible work created uncertainty rather than reassurance, especially on long rides where reliability and predictability matter above all else. Riders also noticed that the Pan America behaved differently at lower speeds, where its tall stance and high center of gravity could feel top-heavy in tight turns or parking lots. While it felt planted when moving quickly, slow control required more effort than many preferred. A motorcycle built for challenge must still offer comfort between miles. Even though the Pan America performed strongly in the environments it was meant for, admiration did not always become connection. Many continued choosing machines that felt more intuitive, familiar, and aligned with the long-distance rhythm they trusted. The Pan America uses a 1,252 cubic centimeters engine, produces approximately 150 horsepower, creates 94 pound-feet of torque, carries a dual-disc anti-lock braking system, uses semi-active front and rear suspension, holds a wet weight of 561 pounds, offers a seat height ranging from 30.4 inches to 34.4 inches, depending on configuration, and entered the market with a starting price of $17,319. So, there you have it, 7 Harley-Davidson models dealers are trying to dump as fast as they can. Some missed the mark on comfort, some lost their identity, and some just never connected with the riders who built this brand. But as always, the truth comes from the road, not the showroom. I want to hear your take. Did Harley slip up, or were these bikes just ahead of their time? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you got value from this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and share this with another rider.